Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jada Blossom, and it is day 2 of our September 2025 release. Hey, so I'm using Jada Blossom's brand new Dragon Faces stamp set, the new Gnome Friends Dragon dies, the new Stay Magical stamp set. Oop, didn't use the outline dies, sorry guys. The stylized rectangle dies, and the stylized scalloped rectangle dies. They're balloon dies, they're birthday banner dies, and Jada Blossom's border dies too. Now, I put this little guy together on the assembly video, so check that out. And I am also using the Dragon Kisses stamp set. So first of all, I cut out that shape in Papertrey Ink white cardstock, and then I used the Jada Blossom Border Dies 2, the cloud, to cut the top of it off because I want them sitting on clouds. And that's going to line up with my little background. And now I'm going to stamp a sentiment from Jada Blossoms. It's an older stamp set called Dragon Kisses. And I'm going to stamp that on the bottom of this cloud piece with VersaFine Clara Nocturne ink using my Misty, because that's the way to do it, right? To get a nice clear image. So I'm going to stamp that. So Fiery Birthday Wishes and Dragon Kisses is what it says. And I'm just going to stamp it again. You know, I like to make sure that it's nice and clear. Remember that you're going to have to let that dry a little bit. Okay, so first of all, this is paper from Asuko Studios Starry Sky 12-inch. I don't know if it's available still, but I just thought it looked perfect for a dragon as well. And I'm adding a 1-inch strip of it to the inside of this card with with my ATG tape. Now remember, this is an A2 size card base, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, using Papertrey Ink white cardstock. So I'm just going to trim off that overhang with a pair of scissors. I put that 1/4 inch from the bottom using my Stampin' Up! Pad. Now I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the inside, and that will be from the new Stay Magical stamp set. Oops, and I'm also stamping this dragon from that Dragon Kisses stamp set. You know, because why not, right? So I'm going to stamp that in Distress Oxide ink, and this is Dusty Concord. So I'm just going to stamp this dragon kind of peeking in from the edge. I try to match the outside to the inside of my card. That's why I'm adding this little dragon. I have to stamp it a few times just to get a really good image. And, you know, I'm not too concerned. It doesn't have to be perfect because it is just on the inside of the card, but, you know. There we go. And I'm just making sure that it's as solid as I can get it. I was having trouble with that one eye there, getting it nice and solid, but there we go. That's good enough. Okay, now I'm going to stamp a sentiment from that brand new stamp set, Stay Magical. I think it says, Unleash the Party Dragon, which is kind of funny, right, for a birthday card. There we go. Now, this is Bazil Bling cardstock. It's like a purple, shiny. And I'm using that on the front of my card base. And this is 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card front. So what is it, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, something like that. Now, everything that I use to assemble the dragon is listed under the dragon assembly video, also on my blog post for today. But I did use Bazil Bling for it. So this is also Bazil Bling that I cut out with that stylized rectangle die. And I'm using my ATG tape to stick it down. And I don't know, there's just something about this Bazil Bling to go with the dragon. With the shine, I just think it's perfect. So this here is Asuko Studios Starry Sky 12-inch paper line. And I don't know if it's available anymore. It's just what I'm using. You can use whatever you want to use. But I'm going to line that up in the center of this stylized rectangle with some ATG tape. And then I'll be adding on that little border piece. So I cut that same size out of white Papertrey Ink cardstock, and then I used the Border Dies 2, that cloud border, to cut the top of it off. So it'll look like this dragon is sitting on some clouds in this stylized rectangle. You see, so it lines up perfect. And there we go. And I just think it looks super cute. And it adds to the whole thing, I think. I'm going to weight it down. So I did cut out this little party hat from the birthday banner dies, and I cut it out of the same 2 cardstocks, the Bazil Bling. in the pink and the purple. And I'm lining that up with some Bearly Art glue. And then I'm going to be adding it onto this adorable little dragon in a moment. But I'm going to stick this dragon down first. There we go. I'll also be using this orange bling, Bazil bling, that I used as well. And there we go. I just think he is, or she is, super cute. You'll see that I used the opposite side of the bling for the face of this dragon just so I could stamp on it. But there we go. So now I'm going to use a Stampin' Up! Dimensional, or a few of them, where it hangs off the dragon because it's pretty thick with the layers. And then I'm just going to glue the edge down on the dragon so it looks like he's wearing this cute little party hat. So a little bit of Bearly Art glue along the edge. So all my die cutting today was done with my Anna Griffin Empress, working on a Stampin' Up! Pad, all the things I always do. So there it is, party hat at a jaunty angle. I'll weight that down. Now I have a little balloon that is cut from the Jada Blossom balloon dies. And I'm going to pop that balloon up with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals or some edges. You know, you can use all of it, right? And I'm going to have this dragon holding this super cute balloon. Just think it really adds a little something, something, right? So just kind of covering it up as good as I can because you know I love my dimension. And I'm going to peel off all those backings so I can put it on the card. And yeah, I leave this in the video because, you know, there we go. And I'm going to have that little balloon up there. And isn't that cute? Oh, it's so cute. So I'm using this twine. I believe it's my Mind's Eye Baker's twine. And I'm going to be... Okay, so I'm going to tie this twine around this little end of the balloon. And I'll trim off the end there. And then I'm going to kind of loop that string so it kind of looks like the dragon is holding it. Not an exact science, but whatever. We'll get it in place. I'm going to use some Bearly Art glue just so it stays stuck down in that spot. And, whoops, there we go. I'm going to trim off that little end of the string. And just so the string kind of stays where I want it, I'm going to add some glue under where it kind of balloons out to the side, adding some glue to a little paper scrap. And I'm just going to add a little bit just so it's tacked down and it'll kind of stay in place. There we go. And I just think this is super cute. I'm going to tie a little bow because I can't help myself. I've got to do it. I'm using the same twine. And I'm just going to trim off the ends. And oh, I realize I got to make that little bow a little bit smaller. I'll be adding that to the hat. Trimming off the ends again. There we go. I just think it's too cute. So I'm going to add on that bow with some Bearly Art glue as well. And I will weight it down to make sure it dries in place. Whoops. Just fraying the ends of that little bow. Just to kind of make it look a little bit more fun, right? And now I am pulling out some shape sprinkles from Doodlebug. These are Holiday Magic again. I'm going to add a little white sparkle to the balloon. And then I'm going to add some pink sparkles on the background just for fun. Because why not, right? It's a dragon. So I'm going to add a few of these little pink sparkles in the background again. There we go. And there you have it, a super cute birthday card. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jada Blossom blog, Be Inspired by the Team, the Jada Blossom store to get this released now, or you got to wait a little later to get stuff a la carte. Bye, everybody.